There is one mistake so quiet, so easy to make, that most men never even realize it's the thing that cost them her. Not something they said wrong, not something they did wrong, something they gave too much of, too soon, without thinking for a single second that giving it could be the very thing that destroys everything. Other channels will tell you to text more, show more interest, be more consistent, be available, be warm, be there. I'm going to tell you the unfiltered truth about why that advice, right at the start, is one of the most dangerous things you can do to attraction. And if you're sitting here right now thinking about a girl you were talking to who seemed so into you at first, and then somehow, without a fight, without a reason, she just cooled off, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share is the thing almost no one talks about. This is not about playing games. It's not tricks. It's not pickup lines or pretending to be someone you're not. The men who understand this aren't performing anything. They simply understand something biological, something primal, something written into a woman's nervous system long before either of you were born. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at those first 2 weeks the same way again. Let me start with something that's going to feel a little uncomfortable. Think back to the last time things started really well with a woman. That electric first conversation, the way she laughed, the way she looked at you a second longer than necessary. There was tension there, real tension, the kind that makes your chest feel tight when you go to sleep. And then, somewhere in those first couple of weeks, something shifted. She started responding slower. Her texts got shorter. The warmth started draining out of her messages like heat leaving a room. You didn't cheat. You didn't lie. You didn't disrespect her. You just showed up, fully, constantly, immediately. And that's exactly where it went wrong. Most men do this completely backwards. They feel that early attraction, that chemical pull, and their instinct is to lock it in fast. Answer every message within minutes. Rearrange their schedule to see her. Send the good morning text first every single day. Show her, through their availability, that she matters. And on the surface, that sounds right. That sounds like what a good man does. But here's the raw reality that most men miss entirely. Her nervous system is not looking for confirmation. It's looking for discovery. There's a neurological response that happens in the early stages of attraction that researchers call the uncertainty reward cycle. Her brain, when it's drawn to someone, releases dopamine not when she receives attention, but when she anticipates it, when she wonders, when she's not quite sure. The moment you eliminate all uncertainty by being endlessly available, you don't give her brain what it's actually craving. You give it the answer before it's even finished asking the question. And a mind that has no more questions to ask about you stops being fascinated by you. That's not philosophy, that's biology. That's the way her subconscious processes attachment in the early stages of a connection. And it's the reason she can be wildly attracted to a man on Tuesday and feel almost nothing by Sunday. Not because he changed, but because he made himself so available that her nervous system had nothing left to reach for. Here's what I want you to understand before we go deeper. There's a difference between being emotionally unavailable, cold, distant, withholding, and simply not flooding the space. One is a wound, the other is a natural rhythm. And the men who have mastered early attraction aren't the ones who care less. They're the ones who understand that restraint in the beginning isn't rejection. It's respect for the process. It's trusting the connection enough not to suffocate it before it has a chance to breathe. Now let me break this down in a way you can actually use. Because understanding why something happens is only half the battle. You also need to know exactly what it looks like in real life, level by level. Level 1, the response window. In the first 2 weeks, your response time is communicating something to her subconscious that has nothing to do with the words you're saying. When you reply to every message within 30 seconds, her nervous system registers one thing: you were waiting. And a man who is waiting is a man with nothing more interesting happening. That's not attractive. That's not masculine presence. That's a man orbiting her life instead of living his own. This doesn't mean you ignore her. It doesn't mean you calculate some specific delay and stare at your phone with a timer. It means you have a life, a rhythm, and she is entering it, not becoming the center of it on day 3. Respond when it's natural. Let some messages breathe for an hour. Let some evenings pass without a message at all. Not to signal disinterest, to signal that your world is full. And a woman wants to enter a full world. She wants to earn space inside it, not be handed it with both hands while you stand at the door holding it open before she's even knocked. Level 2. The availability of your schedule. This one cuts deep because it goes against everything that feels generous. When she's free on Thursday and you immediately reshape your entire week to make Thursday work, the message isn't, "I want to see you." The message her subconscious receives is, "I have no other priorities." And here's what that does. It removes the element that her instinctive attraction engine needs most in those early weeks. Competition. Not manufactured jealousy, not fake plans. Real competition from a real life that is full and rich and yours. When you say, "Thursday doesn't work for me, but I'm free Saturday evening," two things happen inside her. One, she respects that you have a structure that she can't instantly rearrange. Two, and this is the one that matters, she starts thinking about Saturday. She starts building anticipation. She starts reaching towards something instead of receiving something. And that reaching, brother, that reaching is where early attraction lives. Not in the meeting, in the waiting for the meeting. Level 3. The depth of your communication flood. I've watched this one play out more times than I can count, and I've lived it myself. You meet someone and the conversation is incredible, so you keep it going. All day, into the night. You wake up and continue it. You share things, real things. Your thoughts, your history, your humor, your fears in small doses. It feels like connection. It is connection. But here's the part almost no one talks about. When you pour the entire ocean into those first 2 weeks, you leave nothing for her to discover later. The mystery isn't a mask you wear. It's the natural result of revealing yourself slowly, in the right sequence, over time. Think of it this way. Every great story you've ever loved kept something back. Every chapter left you needing the next one. You were biologically hooked by the open loop, by the question that needed an answer that hadn't arrived yet. You are that story to her in those first weeks. But if you tell her every chapter on the first night, you've given her the ending before the story had a chance to grip her. Say less than feels natural. End conversations while they're still good, not because they've died. Leave one thing unsaid. Create the open loop intentionally. Let her carry a question about you into the next day. That unanswered question is more powerful than any perfect thing you could have said to fill it. Level 4. The emotional availability paradox. Here's where it gets subtle. Here's where the men who truly understand women separate from the men who are still guessing. Being emotionally present, warm, attentive, genuine in the moments you're together is not the same as being emotionally flooding in the space between those moments. In person, in the middle of a real conversation, real emotional honesty is magnetic. It builds trust. It creates the kind of masculine presence she's actually craving. But between meetings, the constant emotional check-ins, the "how are you feeling today?" the "just thinking about you," the "I really like where this is going" text sent 3 days in, that's not emotional depth. That's emotional noise. And her nervous system registers the difference even when her conscious mind doesn't. She doesn't know why she starts feeling a little claustrophobic around day 10. She doesn't have the language for it. She just feels like something that was exciting is starting to feel heavy. Like something that felt like discovery is starting to feel like obligation. The truth almost no one talks about is this. Emotional depth between two people builds in the silence between moments just as much as it builds in the moments themselves. Give her room to miss you. Give her brain space to generate the feelings that are only possible when you're not there filling every gap. Level 5. And this is the one I promised you at the start, the one I've been holding back. It's the comfort kill itself. There is a specific window in those first 2 weeks where a woman's attraction is still in motion, still deciding, still alive with possibility. And what determines whether it peaks or quietly dies is whether she feels something she can only feel toward a man whose full presence she hasn't quite secured yet. It's a feeling that lives somewhere between safety and uncertainty. Closer to safety, but not all the way there. Still slightly out of reach. The moment you become completely comfortable, completely predictable, completely there, completely hers before she's even chosen you, you move out of that window. You didn't become less attractive as a person, You became safe to put down. And things we can put down don't occupy our minds at night. Things we're still reaching for do. This is what the comfort kill really is. It's not a punishment. It's not her being cold or shallow. It's her nervous system accurately reporting that the chemical tension, the uncertainty that was driving her neurological reward cycle, has been replaced by comfort. And comfort in weeks 1 and 2 is the enemy of desire. Not because women don't want a safe man, they absolutely do. But safety in the long run is built slowly, through real trust, real history, real experience. Safety in week 2 is just familiarity without depth. And familiarity without depth kills attraction the way sunlight kills a candle. Here's what this looks like when you get it right. You're present when you're present. Fully. Genuinely. She feels your attention, your warmth, your interest in who she is. And then you step back into your life. Not dramatically, not coldly, naturally. Like a man with somewhere to be, something being built, a world she is beginning to realize she wants access to. Your texts are real when they come, but they don't come in a flood. Your availability is real, but it requires planning. Your emotional presence is real, but it lives in the moments you share, not in the space between them. And what happens inside her when you do this? When you hold this rhythm without performing it, is something her own nervous system doesn't fully explain to her. She just finds herself thinking about you more, looking forward to your messages in a way that feels almost frustrating, building a version of you in her imagination that grows richer and more interesting each day. She doesn't know why this one feels different from the others who were also kind and interested and available. She just knows it does. She just knows there's something about you she hasn't quite reached yet, and she's not done reaching. That, brother, is where emotional surrender begins. Not with a grand gesture, not with the perfect thing said at the perfect moment. It begins in the space you had the discipline to leave open. I want to be honest with you about something. This isn't theory I'm reading off a page. I've sat in that place of over-availability myself. I've felt that pull to just show her, prove to her, make it clear before she could have any doubt that she mattered to me. And every time I gave in to that pull too early, I felt the warmth drain out in real time. Not because she was cruel, because I didn't understand what I was doing to the chemistry we'd built. Understanding this didn't make me colder, it made me more intentional. And intentional isn't a word you'd find in a pickup manual. It's a word that belongs to men who actually respect themselves and respect the process of real attraction. So here's what I want you to take away from this. The first 2 weeks are not about proving yourself. They are about revealing yourself. Slowly, selectively, and with enough space between revelations that her mind has room to be curious. Be warm when you're there, be absent when you're not. Meaningfully absent, not strategically ghost absent. Let your life be full enough that your attention, when it arrives, means something. And trust that the connection that's real will survive the space you give it. More than survive, it will grow inside that space. Because real chemistry doesn't need to be crowded into every minute. It needs room. It needs air. It needs the quiet tension of 2 people who are drawn to each other and are willing to let that pull build before they close the distance. That's not playing hard to get. That's not manipulation. That's not a strategy borrowed from a forum. That's just understanding how desire actually moves in a woman's nervous system and choosing to work with it instead of accidentally working against it. If this shifted something in how you see those early days of a connection, then do something for me. Not for the numbers, but because there are men watching right now who are sitting on the edge of making this exact mistake with someone they genuinely care about. Like this video so more men can access this truth. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you want to go deeper into what happens after those first 2 weeks, what signals she sends when attraction is still alive, versus when it's already started cooling, that's the next one. It's the video that most men find 3 conversations too late. Don't be most men.